Okay, so I'm here. I was here just a second ago, but what happened was that for some reason, when you swipe now on a Facebook Live, it just stops your Facebook Live. So that's really bizarre. Kind of cool, but very bizarre. So let me know when you get here. We're gonna get started. It's gonna be epic. I'm just gonna tag the lovely Joyce who was here before. Joyce. There we go. Okay, if I'm being really antisocial, it's because I'm just inviting the people that were here. Okay. There we go. Okay, awesome. So people are here. Yay! Let me know when you're here. I know, Joyce, I'm sorry. It was really weird. I swiped to get rid of a notification and the Facebook Live just disappeared and I was like, what's happening? No worries, Ariana. It's nice to have you. So, I love it. Emma, you're always in your pajamas. I just love how cool you are. So, today we're talking about Facebook groups and selling, and if you missed the training yesterday, obviously the training yesterday was all about how to grow your Facebook group full of ideal, engaged clients, and it was pretty good, like, I'm not gonna lie. Joyce apparently took 2 pages of notes, so it was okay, it was good as a training. It has now disappeared from here, it's disappeared from SLS and it's been locked away, or it's being locked away in the process of, into the Dotties. So if you are a Dottie, don't worry, because you've got unlimited time to go and look at it. And today, we're going to be talking about my favourite thing, which is obviously sales. I'm going to be talking about selling in Facebook groups. I love it, Emma. Yesterday's training was epic. Yay! So this is one of my favourite things, and I want to kind of go through it in a semi-logical way. You know, I've made notes. I've written 4 bullet points that I think will keep me on track. And really talk about A, why you should be selling in Facebook groups, B, when you should be selling in Facebook groups, and then how you should be selling in Facebook groups. So I'm going to whiz through it as quickly as possible, and then if anyone has questions, obviously shout them out as and when they come up for you, and I will do my best to answer. I'm prepared with a ton of water, so I'm going to be like zooming my words at the speed of light, and obviously if you've got questions, just shout. So, if you haven't said hello yet and you are here, say hi. We'll always say hi back, and it's good to know who's here. And then, let's just get down and dirty with it, right? Okay, so Facebook groups. Facebook groups are really interesting, and one of the biggest questions that comes up a lot. Hey Kelly, how are you, love? One of the biggest questions that comes up a lot is, when should I offer people something in my Facebook group? When should I make the offer to them? And I get that it's really scary because, you know, when we actually make an offer in our Facebook groups, it means that we actually want people to buy stuff. And that can be quite a scary prospect because we're all kind of thinking, oh my gosh, you know, it's really worrying. We're going to have to make the offer. What if everybody says no, or we get rejected? That would be really uncomfortable and awkward. Hey, Andrea, welcome back. But the key thing is that when you sell in Facebook groups, it doesn't actually matter, okay? So there is no hard and fast rule that says you have to give 6 months of value before you show up and offer one thing to buy. And in actual fact, you shouldn't wait that long. Now, I'm a big fan of giving value. Like, obviously, I'm trying, like, I'm in here all day, every day, trying to give the best value that I can. But I'm also a big fan of selling every day, okay? And there are 2 reasons why you should be selling regularly and consistently in your Facebook group. So the first reason is that actually trains people into a positive buying behavior. If they see that you are selling regularly, they don't think, oh God, this is so awkward. She's selling stuff. I'm freaking out, because it's a natural thing, okay? Because it's happening regularly. They're like, oh, cool. She's sharing this epic content. This is for me. Maybe this offer isn't for me, whatever. And it doesn't bother them, okay? So it doesn't freak them out. They don't get scared. They just see it as being a normal occurrence. And actually, if you're somebody that is running a business-based group, or a group that is teaching entrepreneurs how to make money or anything like that, for the love of God, please sell regularly. Because if you don't sell, right, if you don't step up and say, hey, I've got this awesome thing that you should buy because I think it will really help you, and I know that because I've been asking you guys about it, they will never do the same. Hey, Suze, how are you, love? So you've got to lead from the front, right? So that's the first reason, that you have to sell early and regularly in your Facebook group. All the time, openly, transparently, share your great stuff, share your gold, share all the, amazing things that you're doing. It makes it normal for people, and they don't freak out. They don't think you're trying to be salesy or sleazy because you're incorporating it with value. And the second reason it's really good to sell regularly in your Facebook group is because it actually trains people into this positive buying behavior. The more often people see you sell stuff, the more often they're probably going to make a purchase with you. Whether it's that you sell something that's a low-end offer or a premium offer, it doesn't matter. The point is that it actually trains them to see that, you're selling consistently, you're selling transparently, and that you're actually happy to do so. So it's not a case of, oh my goodness, I've started a new Facebook group and, I've got to provide 3 months worth of webinars before I can actually offer them something to buy. Or, it's not also a case of, I've had a group for 6 months and I've kind of, I've been giving them a lot of value and stuff, but maybe they're not that engaged, so I can't sell yet because they're not engaged. I don't want to think that, they're being sold to before they're starting to ask questions and stuff. None of that stuff is relevant, okay? So that's the first thing. When you should sell is always. You should always be selling in your business. You should be selling every single day. Doesn't mean that you have to sell in your Facebook group every single day, but it does mean that you do need to be selling. You need to be out and proud about the cool stuff that you're doing, okay? The second thing, or the second question I get quite a lot when it comes to selling in your Facebook group is, what should I sell? And this is really interesting because a lot of people have come to me recently and they've been like, Jess, I've been told that, I should be selling people like a $7 offer and then like a $27 offer and then a $497 offer. And honestly, again, it makes no difference. Okay, you can sell whatever you want. Sometimes I'll come into my group and I will sell offers that are $27 and, they're great. They're epic. Sometimes I'll come in here and I'll sell offers that are $997. If anybody watched the latest cash creation launch, you'll know that it was $997 or $1,297, depending on what option you picked. And that was sold through my Facebook group, right? I love it. Joyce is like, yes, please address the value ladder. Okay. When it comes to the value ladder, and I think there are some companies that do it really well, and there are some companies that do it really badly, as with everything in life. Generally, a value ladder is designed to help you convert cold traffic. Okay, so what happens is, and this is usually a cold traffic thing. So when you send out your Facebook ad and you have them go to a landing page, and then after the landing page you send them straight to something small to sell, to train them into positive buying behavior, right? It's a sales funnel thing. Now, if you have a Facebook group, okay, and they're warm, and you've been giving tons and tons of value in there, it doesn't mean you have to start with a $7 offer. Like, that's ridiculous. It's going to take you just as much work and just as much effort to sell a $7 offer as it is to sell a $700 offer, or a $7,000 offer, or a $20,000 offer, right? It's going to take you just as much work, I promise you. So if you are marketing to cold traffic, if you are, going down the sales funnel route and you're going Facebook ad to landing page to thank you page, fine. You know what? Stick in a $27 offer and train your audience. That's all cool. If you've got a Facebook group that you have been nurturing and that are warm traffic, know you, like you, trust you, love what you do, sell them a $1,000 offer. They're not going to mind. What they will care about is not how much the thing or the product or the service is. They'll care about whether it can help them or not. Does it solve a major problem for them right now? Does it help them in some way? Is it going to take away their pain that they're currently experiencing? If the answer is yes, that's cool. They're going to buy it. If the answer is no, you've you know, maybe gone a little bit astray with your market research, and they weren't going to buy it at $7 or $700, so it doesn't make any difference, right? Jessica, yay, a fellow Jessica. I love it. Just watched yesterday's training, excited to catch you live today. I'm so excited to have you. And Holly and Ellie, yay, and Haley. So yeah, you know, when it comes to what should you sell, the answer is you should sell anything you want in your Facebook group, with the caveat that you are selling to an audience who are warm and engaged and, you know, well nurtured. And even if they're not like massively engaged, so say you're getting crickets, but you're doing like live trainings, or you're posting and you're getting like a lot of likes or a lot of comments, but people aren't necessarily coming out and asking questions themselves, you can still be selling high ticket offers. Okay, there is no law that says you have to start with something that's $7. On the other hand, if you want to, right, if you want to do it, go for it. It's your group, it's your rules, it's your business, okay? But there is nothing that says when you are dealing with a warm, engaged audience that know you and like you, that you shouldn't sell at premium prices, okay? Hey, Anna and Lorraine. Yeah, follow my business page. There should be a little button that says follow, and you'll get the notifications. When we've linked up the biz page to the group, it means that when I go live, some people aren't getting my notifications because it was on my personal profile previously, so that's frustrating. But you've got me, yay! So that's the second thing. So we've covered when should you sell, always openly and transparently. What should you sell? Anything you like if it's a warm, nurtured audience. If your audience is colder, you can start smaller if that's going to make you feel good. But ultimately, remember, this is not about you trying to justify your products or your services. This is really about listening to your audience, doing the right market research, knowing what problem you're going to solve for them and what, you know, you're going to provide in terms of the solution, and then selling it fairly, openly and transparently, okay? And then the third question I get quite a lot is, you know, is there a specific time of day or a specific time of week or whatever that it makes selling more successful in Facebook groups? The short answer is there can be, okay? Be sensible about it. Think about it logistically. People get paid. Hey, Sam. Sam is our newest member of the Dotties. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, think about it logistically. People get paid generally towards the end of the month or the beginning of the new month. So if you make an offer in like week 2 of the month, it can be more difficult because people will already have paid their bills. They'll have already been, you know, spending money on payday weekend, and they'll already be thinking, oh gosh, you know, it's another 3 weeks to payday, or until I pay myself. And so people will be more reticent if you bring out offers during that period of time. So if you're going to bring out a premium offer and you're thinking, when is the best time to sell it in my Facebook group? Probably the end of the month, when people have money, when they have money to spare, when they know what their finances look like, right? Kathy. Hey, Kathy. Good point. In the US, people are generally paid twice a month. I didn't know that. That's really interesting. But yeah, you know, try and figure out when people are going to get paid or when they're going to pay themselves, you know, and from that perspective, you are going to have more success when it comes to selling in your Facebook group, because it's just a practical thing. I know, for example, my mortgage goes out every month on the 24th of the month. And so every month on the 24th, I pay myself because I know that I'm going to spend money anyway. I'm going to pay the mortgage, and so that for me signals the start of another month. Okay, now the final bit that I kind of want to cover on this is actually how should you sell. Okay, and I want to ask a question, I guess, because does anybody think that there is a difference between the result that you'll get selling via Facebook Live or via video and the result that you'll get selling via Facebook posts? Does anybody think that there's any difference? I'd be really intrigued. I'm going to give you the stats as well, so I will share afterwards what it looks like in my business. But does anybody think that there is a difference between the amount of sales or the amount of money that you will make when you put out a Facebook post, that's Max snoring, that asks for the sale, or when you put out a video or a Facebook Live that asks for the sale. I love it. Suze, maybe not. I don't know. Andrea thinks live. What does everybody think? I'm genuinely intrigued, because when I was looking at the stats, and I literally only looked at this like a couple of hours ago, because I keep getting this question, and I was like, well, and I had my own perceptions of it, and I thought, well, you know, I probably know this, and then I went and looked at the stats, and honestly, I was pretty shocked. So yes, there is a difference. I guess that's like a quick clue. Andrea, I hate writing posts. Ellie, duh, personal connection, energy, enthusiasm, all for Facebook Live. Amazing. Kathy thinks live as well. Okay, so you guys aren't wrong. The difference between Facebook Live and selling through Facebook Live and selling through Facebook posts is huge, okay? To give you the stats from my business, the difference has been phenomenal. Okay, so to put it into perspective, in 2016, I used 13 Facebook posts to sell. So I wrote 13 sales Facebook posts. And out of those total 13, they converted at 73%, which is pretty good, right? So we made money. We made money on them. They converted at 73%. Happy days. With Facebook Live, when I've sold on a Facebook Live, they've converted at 91%. Okay, that's what, like, someone do maths quickly. That's like, I don't know, 15, 18%? I don't know, something like that. Higher. So it's substantially higher. I love it. Lorraine, people might go back to post more often because it's quicker than watching a video. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, that comparison to me was huge. And again, to put it into perspective, last year, so the post, the sales post that made me the most money, so the post that I wrote, oh, there we go, Lorraine's got it, of course she has, 13% difference. The post that made me the most money last year, from one post, made a total of $22,000. That's not bad, right? That is not shabby from one post that probably took me like, I don't know, 30 minutes to write. Probably longer, because I hate writing Facebook posts. The Facebook Live that converted best last year, and bear in mind it was exact same offer, so exactly the same price, converted at $31,000. One Facebook Live. So 30 minutes on a Facebook Live, $31,000. One Facebook post, 22. That's pretty huge. Ellie, Lorraine, we are both words lovers, but I've seen many people don't make it till the end many times and prefer to watch, because in a Facebook Live you can cover an amount of information with 10 written posts. Do you know, it's really interesting. I've seen copywriters recently who've specialised in writing video scripts, and I think that's really interesting. It's really interesting the way that the industry is changing, because people do want to do so much on video, because like you say, you can get energy across and things like that. But some people just get really stuck about what am I going to say and when am I going to say it, and they need like a little bit of guidance, so that would be cool. Andrea, the call to action is clearer in posts, I think. Someone can watch the video, get off and forget it. Yeah, and I think it comes down to how you make the pitch, right? In a post, it's very clear. You can make the pitch by being like, hey, this is what I've got for sale. I think you should buy it. And it is very, very clear. In a Facebook Live, typically you want to do some kind of education or value give. Value give, that's terrible grammatically, but you know what I mean. Before you necessarily move into the pitch, because you don't necessarily want to get on a video and be like, hey, buy my stuff, because that's a bit awkward and uncomfortable, right? Ellie, well, I'm guessing it depends on the audience as well. Yeah, so obviously my Facebook group, like this whole thing is about Facebook groups. So it's not about business pages. It's not about, you know, YouTube channels or anything like that. This is about Facebook groups. And obviously this group is super engaged, and it is full of my ideal clients, because I did all the steps from yesterday's training. You know, we grew the group with the right people. I nurtured them in and built relationships, and then I sell regularly. And so these stats are from this exact Facebook group. That's exactly where the information's come from. Andrea, You need a copywriter. Do you use one? Is this common for lives? There are 2 on this live stream right now, Ellie Isaacs and Lorraine Panettiere. I can never pronounce your name, Lorraine. I'm so sorry. And I think they would both look at doing video scripts. It depends on what you want, and it depends on what the kind of things that they write. I personally have never used a copywriter. That's just because I'm really anal. I'm really OCD about what I like to do on lives. For things like sales pages, then, you know, I'd be happy to look at something like that in the future. Look, Ellie, I refuse to take clients to script their videos. I only coach them through the content instead of writing for them, because a lot of people freeze when there's a script. Yeah, totally. So if you want that kind of thing, Ellie, and then Lorraine, obviously totally depends on the style of the live and the person's personality. So there are lots of resources in this group alone that you can get for copywriting and stuff. The key thing though is really about, although the stats are huge, like the statistics are huge for Facebook Live, 13% increase in sales is a big deal in any business. But you don't have to. If you're not a video person, you can just hone your skills with copy. You can focus on really nurturing your audience and then making sure that your offers are going consistently to really super warm audience members, rather than, you know, kind of putting them out and having to do a lot of educational lives or anything like that. So it's not really a hard and fast rule that says that just because for me Facebook Live is like a big deal. I've done over 300 hours worth of Facebook Live trainings at this point. So I've done quite a lot. I've spent quite a lot of time on Facebook Live. I'm pretty relaxed and chilled out about it. And I enjoy being live in my group. I enjoy giving value, and I enjoy selling on Facebook Live. It's something that is now very easy to me because I've spent over a year doing it. Okay. If video is not your thing, if you hate video, if you're like, ugh, the thought of selling on a live video makes me want to, you know, vomit in a corner somewhere, you might actually have more success with a post. The point is, you have to do it in a way that makes you feel comfortable. It's not about picking the sexiest method on the market. It's about, what do you feel comfortable doing? How do you feel comfortable selling? Before Facebook Live was around, 100% of my sales came through posts or through emails, right? And written content, because Facebook Live wasn't there. So it's not about picking the sexy stuff. It's about thinking, you know, what do I actually want to do? Am I a better writer? Am I somebody who prefers audio? Because Facebook Live now has just an audio only function and you don't have to worry about video. Are you somebody who loves Facebook Live and, you know, wants to be on video and wants to get real-time reactions and stuff from people? That's cool too. Remember, the only things that you need to make the sales are to have an engaged audience, you know, people who are following you and who are interested in what you're doing and who enjoy learning from you, and an offer that actually, you know, solves a problem for them, solves a specific need for them. That's it. And so when you're looking at Facebook groups, it's not a case of, you know, you have to get on Facebook Live to sell. It's a case of, okay, what actually feels good for you? Would you prefer to just write a series of value posts and then have a great sales post? If that feels good for you, do it. You know, if it feels good for you to get on a Facebook Live, do it. If it feels good for you to do a webinar and then pitch at the end, do that. Like, I've tested all of these methods. You know, I've done webinars, I've done Facebook Lives, I've done written posts, I've done sales pages, pure email marketing, and they have all converted. Some have converted better than others because I prefer it, right? Emma, I've never sold in a live, but I'm going to when I get the test copy of my book. I'm going to do a live and pre-order. Oh my god, that's going to be so exciting. People are going to be like, yeah! It's going to be like a book live party. I might be there for that. That just sounds awesome. But yeah, it totally depends on your style, and it also depends on your offer. You know, if you've got something that you're like, this is a huge launch, you know, we'll be relaunching Cash Creation, for example, at the end of June. So if anybody's thinking about being on the next round, there will be a wait list coming and you can go and get all the deets on it. But for that, because it's going to be a large launch, there will be some content that is automated. Like there will be automated content and automatic marketing for it because it's going to be a big launch, right? Whereas with something like my VIP days, for example, they are huge, like they are, in terms of the kind of VIP day and the investment, they are premium investments. But when I have spaces, I let everybody in the group know, and I let my email list know, and they go within a few hours, because my audience know that they don't come up that often, right? So it totally depends. I love it. Suze, where's my credit card? Take it all. Emma, do CC. Yeah, CC is coming back. There will be another round. There will be another launch. It will be coming back at the end of June. So if you want to get into CC, there will be a wait list come in for you. Dotties also get 20% off. So just remember that. Like, if you are a Dottie, you get 20% off of anything else that I release. So just saying. Jessica, I'm in a party plan business. Live is changing how I do Facebook parties. It's been huge. That sounds awesome, right? You know, that is so cool, because again, I find that you can do totally different things. Like, you can give people a totally different experience on Facebook Live, on email. Like, some people opt into my email list, and actually I've had some epic emails from people in here recently who've been in the cash creation case studies sequence, who have replied to my emails and they're like, Jess, this is so cool, and it's made me really happy. So people do respond to emails differently than people respond to videos or Facebook Lives. But when you use video, you can bring somebody into your business. I can share my screen if I want to. I can show people how different things are performing. I can respond real time to questions. And that's a very different experience than someone will get being on my email list. Because they'll get a ton of really great content, but it will be a case of they'll have to reach out if they want me to do something or provide extra content or answers or something. So it's a slightly different experience. It's very cool. Joyce, cash creation epicness. Thanks, ladies. Everyone's like, I'm excited. I'm really excited for the cash creation launch. We're going to have a really fun time. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on, so it's going to be cool. Andrea, I'm not a great writer. I don't enjoy it, and I run multiple businesses, so it gets confusing. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Ultimately, it's about, when you're selling in your Facebook group, it's about focusing on how you're comfortable selling, not how other people are. It's about you. If you prefer to get a copywriter in and get them to write your sales pages and your posts and all that kind of stuff, do it. Nobody's judging you, right? If you're somebody who's like, yeah, I'm going to have a party on live and I'm going to sell my products or services, all cool. You know, I'm with you in that camp. I love it. I've also just had a message from someone who's like, I'm definitely on that cash creation list. So yes, there will be a list coming for cash creation. Andrea, cash creation is one of my signature programs where we basically spend 6 weeks generating fast cash in your business. It's very cool, but it will be coming. The wait list will be coming shortly, and there will be some cool stuff around the launch of it. So you'll see a lot about it, and there are a lot of women in this group that have taken it and will tell you honestly how their experiences have been. So it's very cool. But yeah, so those are the things you really want to be watching out for when you're selling in your Facebook group. When should you sell? All the time, regularly. Make it normal, make it a great experience, make it fun, make it something that your audience don't have to freak out about, that they don't, you know, kind of see you as just giving value all the time and never selling, because that will freak them out. That will mean that they start to think that you selling isn't like a normal experience, and you don't want that. You want them to enjoy it. Like, you want them to have a really good sales process and know that even if they don't buy, they're going to get value from the experience, right? The second thing we covered was, what should you sell? Should you be selling, or should you really be selling a tripwire offer first? And the answer is no. Like, you don't have to. When you're selling to a warm audience, it is just as difficult to sell a $7 thing as a $7,000 thing. So you may as well, when you are, selling to your warm audience, to a Facebook group that has been well nurtured, well loved, and that you've engaged with, you might as well sell them the premium thing if that's what you believe is going to help them. Okay, and this is the key. Like, sell with integrity. Don't just sell something more expensive because you're like, yeah, well, I want to make more money. That's all cool, but ultimately it's about long-term relationships. And then we covered, how should you sell, right? Should you sell through Facebook Live? Should you sell through posts? Should you sell through audio, etc.? And we looked at the fact that actually, you know, for my business, it's had a 13% increase since we started using Facebook Live, and we covered some of the stats in that. But ultimately, it really is about doing what's best for you, doing what you enjoy, okay, and doing the right thing for you. Andrea, what if they don't buy right away? Does it kill future offers? That is a great question. No, of course it doesn't. Sometimes I make offers, and there are plenty of women in this group that will agree with me. Sometimes I make offers and they don't want them. Some people buy them, and other people who are totally die-hard fans of mine, they don't buy them. It's not because they don't like me anymore, or because, you know, they didn't want it or something. It's just at that time, that offer didn't meet a massive problem for them. It didn't meet a massive need. It didn't provide them with a solution that they were looking for right then and there. It's cool. The next time I bring out an offer, they might be like, oh my goodness, that's exactly what I need right now. Or, you know, I don't want that. And they, you know, it might take them another 3 months or another 6 months before they buy from me again. It definitely doesn't mean that just because someone said no to you once or no to one offer, that they will never buy anything else from you. It's one of the things that I think sometimes we feel like. We feel like if people have rejected us once, or what we perceive to be rejection, that they'll never come back, they'll never deal with us again. But in actual fact, it's just a case of, do you know what, does that offer meet my needs right now? Yes or no? If it does, great, I'm going to buy it. If it doesn't, I'll pass and I'll wait for the next thing, okay? Hey, Steph and Alyssa. I think this is your first live, Alyssa, where you've ever commented. So, yay! Thank you. I'm so glad to have you here, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Lorraine, not at all. Andrea, I've had people in my group sit and look for a year or two and then suddenly buy. It totally depends how much your offer resonates with the person at that particular time. And that is so true. You know, Anna, we are all focusing on specific areas at any one time, so it's often about timing too. Exactly. You know, and this is the thing. You will find that there are some things that are seasonal. When I was in corporate, you know, we would have some times of the year where people just, they didn't want technology solutions. They didn't want, you know, to kind of think about hiring a team. Then there were other times of the year where people were like, oh my goodness, I need everything like yesterday, because they haven't planned ahead, right? It happens. And it's the same in your business. There will be times and there will be offers that people are like, oh my goodness, I can't get enough of it. And there will be times where the offer is a little more undersubscribed. The trick is to be doing market research consistently. Don't just do it once and then assume that you know what your audience needs for the next 5 years. That's, you know, not a solid plan. But if you're asking regularly, if you are, you know, communicating with them and engaging with them regularly, you're always going to know what they want. Like, it's super simple, okay? Does anyone have any questions on any of this? Has anybody got any questions on when you should sell, what you should sell, how you should sell in your Facebook group? If you do, like, shout away. I am absolutely here for questions. Everyone's like, no. No, Jess, I have no questions. If you do have questions, obviously pop in the comments. I'm happy to answer anything or any questions that come up for you guys around when you should sell in your Facebook groups, how you should sell in your Facebook groups, what you should be selling people. You know, if you're on the replay and you're catching it, feel free to pop a question in. I will come back in and take a look and answer that as well. Ellie. One more point which I've noticed, there are people who love you and will refer others to you even if they haven't bought. Yes, so this is a thing, right? And I've said this many times in here. There are some people who will never ever buy from you, but they will be the best messengers your business ever has. And it's just because, like, maybe they don't want what you're offering right now. Maybe they don't need the solution that you're offering, but they love you. So they go out and they tell everybody else on the planet about how great you are. And you end up making, like, a lot of new connections, building a lot of new relationships, and you end up making money as well. But it's because those people are your messengers. So, you know, never focus on, and I know that some coaches do this and they go, oh, they're freebie hunters. And I'm like, do you know what? I love those people. Because even if they don't buy from me, they go out and tell everybody else how friggin' amazing my free stuff was. And then everyone else comes and looks at it and they might actually, like, purchase. So they're not freebie hunters. It's not a negative thing. They're messengers, right? And if your free content is amazing, which it should be, they'll be going out and telling everyone about it. Stephanie, I don't sell enough. Why do you think that is, Steph? Why do you think you don't sell enough? Is it like, what are you worried about? Jessica, most of my uplines and organisation know less about Facebook than I do, so I'm learning and teaching them. Thank you so much for all of this. This is so big. You're so welcome, my love. Seriously, I'm so glad it's helpful. And like I say, if you have any questions or there's anything you need, just shout. Like, hit me up in the comments. I'm always happy to help. Jane, how much engagement do you need in your group before you start selling, as my group isn't very quiet at the moment? You sell always. Sell every day. It doesn't necessarily need to be in your Facebook group every day, but you should be selling every day to your audience as a whole. So I think, you know, the bit that we covered off first in this live was that, you know, it really doesn't make any difference when you sell, as long as you do it regularly, and then people they don't get afraid about it. You know, they don't freak out about it. They don't worry about it. They just kind of go, oh my goodness, this is a normal experience, and Jane's selling her awesome stuff, and that's super cool. And, you know, if it's right for them, they buy, and if it's not, they don't. And that's cool, you know. So don't worry about it being, you know, a specific level of engagement or a specific number of people or anything like that. Worry about, you know, have you showed up? Have you given value? Have you nurtured them correctly? And if you have, great, sell. And that's what you should be doing. So every single day you should be adding value to your audience, and you should be selling to your audience in some way. Steph has lovely supporters too. I love that, right? Messengers are really important. Lorraine, I don't sell enough either. Why? Why are people not selling every day? Why are they not? Like, why? What's stopping you guys from selling every day, do you think? Andrea, I run a Facebook group for creative entrepreneurs. It's new to me, but I'm trying to get the most value. Sometimes I don't know what I should offer. I built the group for community, support, and fun. Like, I like to be me and talk about my own challenges. It's not just all business. That's cool, right? I think, you know, look at them, ask them, what do you want? What's your one big problem right now? What's your one big struggle right now? And then create something based on that. I don't know whether anyone remembers, but a few days ago I put a post in the group that says, hey, who's struggling with Facebook groups? Like, would you like to know more about Facebook groups and Facebook group trainings? And I got like tons and tons of yeses. And then I created Facebook group trainings. I could have created a paid product, and in all honesty, I could have easily packaged this kind of stuff into a workshop for $197, and I'd have sold out. So it wouldn't have made any difference. You can totally do something, you know, that you actually talk to your audience and say, hey, if I was going to create something like this, would you buy it? Joyce, I wasn't overtly selling at all. I was very passive, even when emailing my list, getting better at it. You are amazing at it now. You're like sending emails all the time. You're epic. I'm loving watching it. Kathy, when you say selling every day, do you mean via Facebook Live? No, so you can absolutely sell every day in different ways. Like, sometimes I will sell to my email list. Sometimes I'll sell in my Facebook group. Sometimes I will sell when I'm on the phone with somebody on a discovery call. Sometimes I will sell by taking people to the next step in the relationship with me, right? So it might be that they read my blog and they go and click and they opt into something. So they subscribe to my email list and they build the relationship with me that way. Maybe they sign up for a discovery call. Like, you should be just encouraging people to build that next level of relationship with you. Joyce, I think for me, the selling every day is that you're taught to lead with value, and now I'm like value plus sell. Answer the question plus sell. Yes, this is exactly it, right? There is nothing wrong, and I'm getting really loud because I'm like, this is so important, but it is, right? There is nothing wrong with providing value to people. There is nothing to be ashamed about with providing value to people and being like, hey, here's my short answer to your question, and here's what I would do in this situation. FYI, I also have a training on it, or a boot camp, or a workshop, or a program that covers that. So if you get stuck and you need more help around this, and this, come over, because I have this for you. There is nothing sleazy about that. You know, ultimately, if you don't say it, people aren't going to ask. It's very, very rare that people will be like, oh, maybe I'll just ask if she can also cover that. Like, if you answer a question on marketing, for example, people, and you don't say, hey, but if you get stuck on the sales funnel part of that, people won't know you do sales funnels. So they'll be like, oh, cool, Jess is that marketing girl. When really, I'm like marketing and sales and psychology and all that kind of stuff, but people don't know if you don't tell them, right? There's nothing wrong with adding value, you know, telling people, giving people information, helping them, and then saying, if you need more, here you go. This is what I have. This is what could also help you. Nothing sleazy about that, especially if you do it transparently. If you do this weird, hey, let's jump on the phone and like maybe talk about it and like maybe have a chat and then maybe I'll pitch to you, that's gross. That's slimy. You know, you've wasted like 40 minutes of my time trying to have some kind of weird chat with me when really all you want to ask is, do you want to buy my stuff? And I probably would have done it had you just answered my question and been like, hey, if you get stuck, here's this. I would have done it anyway, right? Steph, at the moment I'm taking on too much, working on new packages to reduce time. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. In 2015, I think it was, I think I did a live on this. I launched like 63 programs. Just to test out what would work for my audience and test out like different modalities and see what would work best in terms of what would get the best experience and the best results and stuff. And it was tough. It was really, really tough. So what I would say is that, you know, if you are in that time paradox where you're like, currently I'm delivering a lot, I'm doing a lot of client delivery work and I'm not getting to sell enough because I'm not, you know, I don't have things I've created that will take me less time to deliver. Try and, even though it's really hard, try and take like 3 hours a week if you can. That's what I did at my busiest. I took like 3 hours a week and I was like, right, okay, this is just for me to focus on what I'm creating. Because otherwise you get into that annoying situation where you're like, oh, all my current clients are gone and shoot, I have no cash flow, right? So, you know, even if you can take 3 hours a week and just get it done and get it out and be selling in the meantime, you know, just because you're not saying, hey, I have this offer, be teasing your Facebook group, be like suggesting, you know, what's coming up, be talking about potential offers in the pipeline, see how well received they are, and then you know that when you do open them up, they're going to be subscribed, rather than opening them and not telling anyone and then being like, ooh, why is nobody buying? Lorraine, since I've changed direction and feel more aligned, I've promoted my offers way less, like almost not at all, but had more calls and emails about working with people in the last 3 weeks in the whole of 2017 to date. Yay! So it's not just about selling, but about people feeling that thing that makes them resonate. Yes, and I think you're in an industry that does allow you to do that because you're copywriting. And I think that because you're doing so much and you're putting out so much cool content that is educating people in your industry, people are naturally seeing it and being like, yeah, I want some of that too. And so there is an absolute thing about educating your audience as well as selling to them. But I would still recommend for everybody that perhaps doesn't have that in their business, that you do sell every day. And even for people who are like that in the business, you should absolutely be selling every day too, because ultimately you want to be making sure that you have a plan, that you have a clear sales strategy all the time that's going to look after you, you know. And so sometimes, like yesterday, for example, I don't know whether anybody noticed, I was in bed asleep, so I had no idea, but apparently Facebook went down for like 4 hours or something. And I woke up in the morning and I had like tons of emails that were like, oh my goodness, you know, Facebook went down, I was supposed to be doing this live, and Facebook went down, I was supposed to be doing this training, Facebook went down, I was supposed to be launching this offer. And I was like, I was asleep, so I had no idea. So you should be making it a key thing, not just to sell like in your Facebook group, but to your audience as a whole. So to your email list, to your, you know, crowd on LinkedIn if you're on there, to your Facebook groups, to your blog, everything, you should be selling every day. Because if one of the platforms goes down, at least you have other audiences that you can communicate with. Yes, proper tangible offers coming soon. Yay! I'm excited. Okay, are there any other questions? Has anybody got any other questions around selling in Facebook groups? Steph, working on passive income too. Ooh, I love it. Passive income is my jam. So if you need any help with that, hit me up because I'm all about that. Working on passive income too. Thank you. I need to repackage and rethink my signature higher end program, the types of clients or message who'll buy those, as I think most of my group only buy at the low end. How many other people think this? This is like, and I love you, Steph, that you brought this up. How many people think that their Facebook group members only buy low end offers? Does anybody else think that? Does anybody else kind of be like, oh, my Facebook group people will only buy offers that are less than $1,000, or my Facebook group people will only buy things that are like $10. Anybody else think that? Because I thought that for a long time. I was like, oh, people on Facebook, they don't pay for premium services. And I thought that, like, the first year that I had my group, I was like, they don't pay for premium services because it's Facebook, right? And then I remembered every single person that I'd worked with through Facebook who I'd paid quite a lot of money to, and I was like, oh, I'm that person. The thing is, people in Facebook groups, they don't not want to pay, but they are massively inundated with offers. This is why it's so important to not just have a Facebook group, right? It's not about them wanting to pay less at all. It's that they are always everywhere, like, oh my goodness, I'm getting this free training from this person, I'm getting this free training from this person, I'm doing this webinar and I'm doing this. So their mind is always like on 1,000 different things. So it isn't that, you know, they want to pay less, it's that actually they are always being sold to, right? They're always being given something for free, and so they're like, oh, okay, well, can I get the same results with something that's free that I can with something that's paid? And the answer is no. Like, my free content is amazing, and I'm not even gonna lie about that. My free content is something I'm really proud of. But do people get better results when they work with me and I'm actually looking at their business? Yes, of course, because I can tailor it, and we can tailor strategies and things like that. So it's not that they will pay less. It's definitely about message. You've definitely got to have a clear message. And also, the hardest thing that I found was with your Facebook group, when you are selling premium offers, you have to talk to the people that they are for and that you want for those offers, not just everybody that's there. And I think sometimes that can be the case. Sometimes we can cater for the masses, for the majority, when in reality what we actually do with premium offers is we only want a few. There are only a few people, like there are only a few women that I can take on VIP intensives and stuff like that because my time is really limited. So yes, they pay a premium price, but they get a ridiculous experience, right? Whereas some things that I cover, when I'm like, oh, hey, look, I'm going to run, I don't know, like a basic sales funnel training or a funnel workshop or something that I know will work for lots and lots of people because I've already tried and tested it with lots and lots of people, I'm going to do that as a group thing. And so, yes, it can be lower price because I'm going to have more people and because I know that it has been tried and tested and that, yeah, people are going to have an epic experience, right? So it depends on the product, it depends who you want, but you've got to speak to the people that you actually want, right? Not the people that are just there. And that is not negative, right? I for a long time was like, oh my God, I'm a real horrible person because I don't want to speak to the people that are there. I only want these specific people for intensives. It's not true, okay? It's just that some offers will fit some people better than others, and that is cool, okay? Ariana, I guess I don't really know since we haven't asked, but you will. Lorraine, that's been pretty true with my foodie Facebook group members. Low-end stuff and under $100. My VIP clients come from elsewhere. Yeah, you know, and again, it depends on the message and it depends on, you know, how you're putting it out there and what kind of thing that they've actually come to the group for. You know, if they've come to the group and they're expecting, you know, lots of lower end offers, if they come because they opted into an ebook or something, then it takes them a little bit longer to convert, right? Andrea, I need some help putting together some coaching programs. Do you work with people on this? Yes, I do. If you would like to, you can pop me an email, jessica@jessicalorimer.com, and you can find out more about that. I feel like they want more services, but more free content. Yeah, I think, again, this is a training thing. This is a behavioral pattern. If you, and I call this baby bird syndrome, right? If you show up all the time, giving value, but you never sell, you're basically feeding the baby birds. So you're like dropping all this information in their mouth because you're like, I don't want to not feed them. I don't want them to be hungry. So they're all over there like cheeping away. Give me food, give me food. And you're like, here's a worm, here's a worm. And meantime, you're getting really burnt out and overwhelmed because you're trying to like give 1,500 people worms. That's a terrible inadvertent pun. But you're trying to do it and you're trying to keep up. And in actual fact, if you set clear boundaries and you say, hey, this is what I'm willing to give you for free. This is my commitment to you guys. I'm going to show up and I'm going to give you this awesome free content, and it's going to be on this many occasions per week or whatever. And if you need extra help, you need to come to me and you need to ask, right? And then I will give you a link to a paid program, or I will walk you through my paid services, and that can really be helpful. Yeah, it's about boundaries. It's about training them into behavior. If you train them that you're going to rock up and you're always going to give them a ton of value, of course they're not going to buy from you. Why would they? Like, they have no reason to. But if you show up and you're like, hey, I have clear boundaries, I'm going to give you this epic training or this epic ebook or this epic like value every week. And if you want more than that, that is totally cool. And I have you covered. You just need to take the next step. You need to buy this, or, you know, maybe you need to talk to me about working with me one-on-one or something. Does that make sense? Joyce, I can't wait to hire you for that 2018. Yeah, baby. It's going to be epic. I'm going to fly over there and be like, on the plane, ready to rock. Okay. Any other questions on that, or is everybody okay? Remember, this training is going to be up for 24 hours. So if you want to rewatch it, if you're like, oh, I feel like there was golden nuggets that I may have missed out on, feel free to rewatch it. You've got 24 hours, and then it does go into the Dotties vault. So if you are a Dottie, you don't need to worry because you've got lifetime access to this. Whoop, whoop. And if you are in the group and you're thinking about becoming a Dottie, let me know, drop it in the comments. It's $47 a month. It's all the business building resources that you will ever need. And you obviously get our private Facebook community in there as well. So other than that, all you need to do is give it another watch, get some gold, work out what you're going to do about your sales strategy in Facebook groups. And if you have questions, either now or on the replay, please drop them in the comments. I'm always happy to give you a hand, answer any questions that you've got. Yay! All right, my lovelies. I hope you have epic afternoons, evenings, mornings, wherever you are in the world. We have another Dottie takeover coming tomorrow. We've got the lovely Rebecca coming in here at 2 p.m. UK, which is 9 a.m. EST, 8 a.m. CST, and she's going to be talking all about hormones. And seriously, the talk she has planned is absolutely epic. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be here live. So I'm looking forward to seeing a few of you guys on here as well. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to be back at 7 p.m. Whoop, whoop. It's like my new time. I'm loving 7 p.m. because it's now lighter in the evenings. And I'm going to be talking about Facebook group leadership. How you show up as the leader, how you monetize your mission, and how you really stand strong when you have a ton of things that you should be doing in your group. Okay, so I will see you all tomorrow. I'll be back in the group. If you do have questions, if there is anything that you need from me, please let me know, and I will see you all tomorrow. Yay! Have wonderful, wonderful days, my loves, and I'll see you tomorrow.